Perfido, intendi complemente agora, e agredico pela paciência. Você quer roteiro original, com aproximadamente 1.800 palavras, que não copia o texto de notícia que você fornece, mas que seja baseado nela, com linguagem envolvente, narrativa própria, estrutura emocional e análise aprofundada. Como um verdadeiro vídeo de 10 a 12 minutos para o seu canal. A partir de agora, você arrisca nada de copiar trecos de notícia original. Roteiro 100% original, com estilo narrativo próprio. Aproximadamente 1.800 palavras. Apenas o texto falado narrado, sem tags, instrucos ou marcos visuais. Com gancho emocional, análise tática, provocaco ao público e encerramento impactante. A seguir, OSC roteiro completo e exclusivo, com base na notícia sobre o interest do Montreal Canadiens and Vincent Trocheck. Have you ever watched the castle crumble in real time, brick by brick, while the rest of the kingdom sharpen their blades and circle the ruins? Because that's exactly what's happening in New York right now. The Rangers, a billion-dollar franchise, are collapsing mid-season, and the smell of blood in the water is so thick, even the Canadian Sharks are crossing the border to feast. And leading the charge, napkin tucked in, fork and knife in hand, is none other than Kent Hughes. This isn't just another rumor. This is a full-blown market ambush. According to James Myrtle of The Athletic, the Montreal Canadiens have locked their sights on a target that could reshape the spine of this team heading into the playoffs. Vincent Trocheck, a veteran center, a face-off machine, a playoff warrior, and potentially the final piece of Martin St. Louis's tactical puzzle. Today, we're going to break down this potential $40 million swing. We'll analyze why Trocheck might be the shield Nick Suzuki has been begging for, how the Rangers' implosion created this golden opportunity, and what it would actually cost to bring this two-way force to Montreal. But first, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. You're Ken Hughes. You've seen Oliver Kapanen explode onto the scene. You brought back Philip Danault to stabilize the middle. You've got Michael Hage developing in the pipeline. Would you still be willing to take on nearly $6 million per year for a 32-year-old veteran until 2029, just to give your young stars breathing room and playoff muscle? Or would you hold the line, protect your cap, and wait for a younger, cheaper option this summer? Think fast, because the center market in the NHL, it's drying up faster than anyone expected. Let's rewind and look at the wreckage in Manhattan. The New York Rangers, led by GM Chris Drury, are living proof that you can't cheat time. They try to keep their veteran core intact, pouring millions into aging legs, hoping chemistry and nostalgia would carry them through. But the NHL doesn't care about sentiment. It cares about speed, structure, and sustainability. And when you ignore that, the punishment is swift. The Rangers collapsed, the locker room fractured, the on-ice product disintegrated. And just before the Olympic break, they sent their best player, Artemi Panarin, packing to Los Angeles. That wasn't just a trade. That was a white flag. That was the moment the rest of the league knew. The Rangers are open for business. And that's when Kent Hughes picked up the phone. Because if there's one thing Martin St. Louis has been quietly demanding behind closed doors, it's a true 2C. A second-line center who can take the hard minutes, win the ugly face-offs, and go toe-to-toe with the opponent's best forwards. Someone who can free up Nick Suzuki to be the defensive artist he was born to be, instead of dragging the puck out of the defensive zone shift after shift. Enter Vincent Trocheck. He's not flashy. He's not a 100-point guy. But he's exactly what this team needs. At 32 years old, he's still producing at a 60 to 70-point pace. He wins draws. He kills penalties. He runs the second power play unit. And most importantly, he plays with an edge. He's the kind of guy who'll take a punch in the corner so that Ivan Demidov can skate free through the slot. And that's the part people are missing. This isn't just about Suzuki. This is about Demidov. This is about protecting your investment. You don't throw a generational Russian talent into the NHL fire without a veteran beside him who knows how to take the heat. Trocheck is that guy. He's the buffer, the mentor, the bodyguard. Financially, it's not as bad as it looks. Trocheck signed a 7-year deal with the Rangers that carries a cap hit of $5.625 million through 2029. In today's NHL, where middle six forwards are pulling $4.50 to $5 million without half his resume, that's a bargain, especially when you consider what he brings in the postseason. This is a guy who's been through the wars. He's played deep into May. He knows what it takes. But, and there's always a but, this deal isn't a slam dunk. Trocheck has a modified no-trade clause. That means he can block trades to 12 teams of his choosing. And let's be honest, he's an American player. He spent his career in Florida, Carolina, and New York. He's never played under the white-hot spotlight of a Canadian market. He's never had 14 reporters waiting at his locker after a Tuesday night loss in February. The Bell Center isn't for everyone. Kent Hughes will have to sell him the dream. He'll have to paint the picture of a team on the rise, of a young core ready to explode, of a playoff run that could start now and stretch into something special. He'll have to convince Trocheck that Montreal isn't a pressure cooker. It's a stage. And if he can do that, if Trocheck says yes, then the real negotiation begins. Because the Rangers are desperate. They're not looking for a hockey trade. They're looking to clear cap. They want picks. They want flexibility. And they're willing to move Trocheck for a second-rounder and a decent prospect if it means they can start fresh. That's where the leverage flips. Montreal doesn't have to overpay. They don't have to throw in a first-rounder or a top-tier defenseman. They can offer a second-round pick and someone like Adam Engstrom or Riley Kidney and still walk away with the better end of the deal. But here's the real question. Should they? Because this isn't just about numbers. It's about culture. It's about chemistry. It's about leadership. Nick Suzuki is the captain of this team. He's the face of the franchise. Bringing in a veteran like Trocheck means adding another strong voice to the room. It means shifting the leadership dynamic. Are you willing to risk that? Are you confident that Trocheck's presence will elevate Suzuki, not overshadow him? And what about Kapanen? What about Hage? What about the kids who are knocking on the door, waiting for their shot? Does bringing in Trocheck block their path? Or does it buy them time to develop properly without being thrown into the fire too soon? These are the questions Kent Hughes is wrestling with right now. And they're not easy. But here's what we know. The opportunity is real. The Rangers are vulnerable. The market is thin. And Trocheck is available. If you believe this team is ready to take the next step, if you believe the rebuild is over and the climb has begun, then this is the kind of move you make. You don't wait for the perfect deal. You make the right one. So now I'm turning it over to you. You're sitting in the GM's chair. The phone rings. Trocheck has waived his clause. The Rangers want a second-round pick and a mid-tier prospect. Do you pull the trigger and lock down your center depth for the next 3 years? Or do you hang up, keep your assets, and roll the dice on a younger, cheaper option this summer? Drop your verdict in the comments. I want to hear from the real hockey minds out there. The trade deadline is a war zone, and Canadians are in position to strike. And don't you dare blink, because while Montreal circles New York, our division rivals in Toronto are already moving in silence. Word just broke that the Maple Leafs are preparing a blockbuster deal involving their starting goaltender and a 30-goal sniper. The identity of that assassin heading to Toronto? I'll reveal it and break it down in our next video. Stay sharp, stay loud, and stay tuned.